everyone, how are you today? So today I wanted to share with you what I actually packed on my backpack for the Southern Upland way, because I found those videos of like what you put into your backpack super useful. And when I was packing my backpack, I thought like I was really like digging for information, so I thought this maybe could help someone. So I've been planning to do the Southern Upland way in summer, so obviously if you wanted to do a hike in Scotland in winter would be a little bit different, the kind of gear that you are taking. So to start with, my backpack is in I don't actually even know, it's an Osprey Atmos, I think. Yeah, Atmos AG. It's a 50-liter backpack, and yes, this is technically a men's backpack. I don't care, I love it, it fits perfectly, it's very comfortable. So this is what I'm using, and I've been really so pleasantly surprised with how comfy it is. I've loaded it quite a bit and it still feels very comfy. It has a belt hip that's very like, I feel like it puts a lot of it distributes the weight very well, so it's not just on the shoulder but it also goes a lot on the hips. And yeah, overall I'm really happy with this backpack. I did do a review on my blog post, so I can link that one below. To start with, I have my sleeping bag, which I recently upgraded or downgraded, I don't really know, but the sleeping bag that I had before was fantastic, but it was just massive and it was like 2.5 kilos, so I was like, I need a new one. So I found this Fathom EV 300 backpack, which is a 3-season sleeping bag, which I found at Go Outdoors. I think that this brand is, yeah, OEX, and it's a brand that you can, at least from my experience, you can only find at Go Outdoors. Maybe it's their own brand, I'm not sure, and they tend to have things cheaper than other brands, and obviously I think that the quality is also not maybe not as good, but for all of the things that I bought from them, I've been quite happy with it, considering that it's a lot cheaper. So yes, this is a 3-season bag, comfort 1 degree and limit -5. You could, I think, maybe do with a 2 sleeping bag, but I don't want to compromise in comfort and in warmth at night, so I prefer going for a 3-season sleeping bag. And this is 1 kilo and 50 grams, and this was one of the reasons why I chose this one, because for this kind of for a synthetic bag, this light and this warm, I couldn't find anything that wasn't under 300 pounds, so I thought we'd give it a go, and I've been liking it. I'm not gonna say it's life-changing, but it's a good sleeping bag and it does what it says it would. As for tent, I have a 2-person camp tent. It's called a Minima Super Light tent, and it really is so light. And this is what, again, I bought this one because I've been really trying to invest in things that would be, well, lightweight, especially if you're planning to do like multi-day hike. And I will say the first day I had a lot of wind and a lot of rain, and the wind did open the outside door zip and some moisture got in, and also the wind, because they obviously, when you want a lightweight tent, sometimes they compromise on some things, and one of the things they compromise in here is the amount of loops that you have to put the pegs. So you do have them, obviously you have them on the corners, but I think that you could have done with a few more on the side. So yeah, other than that, I'm quite happy with this. It's really lightweight. So that's for the sleeping. For the mat, I decided to invest in one. I didn't have one before, but I thought if I'm gonna do a lot of white camping, then it'd be good to sleep nice and have, you know, something comfortable for the back. So I got myself this OEX self-inflatable mat, and it's a 3/4, which means it gets to maybe my thighs. So that's by getting something that's not full length, you do save in a little bit of weight. That's why I went for 3/4, because anyway your calves and your feet, you don't really feel if you have a mattress or not really. So I went for this, and I must say it's not really self-inflatable. You still need to blow on it to inflate it, so it doesn't inflate itself that much. But other than that, I'm quite happy. It was quite cheap. I think it was £30. As for my cooking equipment, I have an Alp Kit Brew Kit. That's a catchy name. But yes, I had asked you actually which cooking system you suggest, you advise, and a lot of you said suggested this British company called Alp Kit, and they basically do like a really similar version of a jet boil for a slightly cheaper price. I think this was 40 quid, but again, don't quote me on it. And it comes with, you know, everything you would need from a cooking system, like the little screw in thing that you put into the bottle. I don't know the technical term. So yeah, in this bag, in this little bag, I keep the cooking system. And inside I also put a lighter and some water resistant lighters, which I actually use, and they're really nice to have. And I also have a little, I don't know what I call this. It's like it has a name. It has a name, but I can't remember it. It's a thing that you can put around your stove to avoid the wind getting on it. So like for really windy day, concertina, that's the name, concertina. For really windy days you can use this, and it's really handy. And to go with the cooking system, I brought with me two 450 grams Primus, just normal propane butane, and I decided to get two just because I thought if I'm hiking for 2 weeks, I really don't want to get run out of gas in the middle of the way, because there's no way to like get gas canister in the Southern Upland Way. At least like from checking forums and stuff, it would be quite tough, so I decided to bring them with me. And in all honesty, if you're planning to do bothies, in bothies, lots of people, they leave canisters like this in the bothy because they don't want to carry the extra weight with them, or they realize that they brought too much. So if I was to do it again, I'll probably just bring one and then try and see if I can scavenge one from the bothies. The amount of gas canisters that I saw in the bothies, like dozens, it's crazy. So yes, that's the gas. As for the water, I decided to bring with me my, what is it called? Sawyer mini water filter, which I've used in the past and always been quite happy. And I brought with me 3 of their bags, 32 Oz bags. And I think that 3, I didn't need 3. 2, with 2 you would have been fine, but I thought I would bring 3 just in case. They are really lightweight and they don't take a lot of space, so I just thought I would bring 3. You do get, I mean, I've been rained on pretty much every day in the Southern Upland Way, so water hasn't been an issue. There's been water pretty much all over the place, so you don't really need to stock that much water. And yes, this water filtration system is really small, really light. Oh, I also forgot, for the eating, I have with me this multi-tool, which is really not the lightest, but that's what I had. And it has a fork and a spoon, and the cool thing is that you can detach them, so that's quite handy. And it also has a knife and, you know, a opening thing for the wine bottles. In regards to clothing, I only brought one change, and usually what I would be wearing is what I will show you, and what I'm not wearing is what I am wearing. Does that make any sense? But yes, I have one set of clothes for sleeping and everything else but hiking. So it's just a pair of leggings and a tank, and that's all I have. And then what I would be wearing during my hike is just a pair of trousers, hiking trousers, a synthetic normal sports t-shirt, a fleece, and then I also have a really lightweight jacket. This is a mountain jacket, and it's been coming used very especially in the evenings when it gets a bit chilly. And I also have a buff, I think this is what you call, and this was like a last purchase. I never owned one, but I can see why a lot of people use it. It's very, very handy, and you can use it for a lot of different things. It doesn't take a lot of space. I have a sport bra and 2 pair of socks. Here I only have one because the other one is super dirty. Super dirty, that was a weird accent. And then I have a lot of rain gear, because if you're planning to hike in Scotland, you need to be prepared for the rain. So I have a lightweight rain jacket, a lightweight, well not so lightweight, rain trousers, and a poncho. So I decided to get a poncho because I don't remember where, but I saw even if you put your rain cover on your backpack, your straps still get wet and your belt still gets wet. So if you pack things on your belt, then everything is gonna be wet. Well, if you have a poncho, you can put it overall of yourself and the backpack, and so that avoids like the straps getting wet, and it also gives you an extra layer. I'm gonna say I think that the idea is really great and it makes a lot of sense, but this poncho did not work as I wanted it to work. This is just a Peter Storm poncho. Is like a really cheap poncho, like 10 quid. And the problem with this poncho is that when you put it on yourself and on the backpack, first of all, it doesn't cover the whole of your backpack. It only covers like till here, so the last pocket is still exposed to the rain. And also it has buttons on the sides, which it's really just really awkward to like try and put the buttons in, and while it's windy, while it's raining, and like you're trying to like, it's just a really weird poncho dance. And so I think if I ever was to, you know, purchase another poncho, I would make sure that it's wide and long enough and that the buttons are really strong, because this honestly has been a nightmare. So at the end, I've been using it just as a backpack cover. So when it starts raining, I just put it on the backpack itself and not on me, and I just keep it there. I don't even try, you know, haggle it with the bottoms. I just leave it as it is. But yeah, I think a poncho on top of your rain gear could be really useful if you have a good poncho. So check before you buy, basically. My clothing stuff goes all into this little pouch, which is not a dry bag because I didn't have any more. It's just a normal pouch. And also I forgot to mention, because I didn't have a lot of dry bags, I only had one for my food and I didn't want to buy anymore. I lined the interior of the backpack with just a normal bin bag, basically. You know, those really strong bin bags? They sell them at Tesco, like a pack was £3. I didn't have it at the beginning, but then after the first day it was really raining and everything got wet, so I stopped in Stranraer and I got some of those and lined all the pockets with that, and that's been really useful. And it's like a cheaper way than buying, like, you know, a lot of different dry sacks, although dry sacks are always useful, so if you can invest in those, then do. So that's it, I think, for the clothes. Oh, I missed this. This is just a pair of gloves, lightweight gloves. I don't know if you really need those, but I was kind of afraid that the midges would be really bad. So I thought, you know, if at night is horrible with midges, because they really attack any, you know, bare skin. So I thought, you know, at least I would have some gloves to protect me from the midges. I haven't used them, but I could imagine that if you were having a hard day with the midges, then those would be quite useful. Those are just normal, you know, biking gloves. And they could also come useful if it's quite cold, but if it's raining, those are totally useless because they will get just moist. And talking of midges, I have a little midge head net, which again I haven't used. I only had yesterday where the midges were a little bit annoying, but I only put some spray and they left me alone. So that's... So this is the midge net. I know it's very fashionable. And it doesn't take a lot of space, and I would definitely recommend one of those if you're going to hike in Scotland in the summer months. I have a pair of sunglasses, again super useful. I have a little traveling towel, very, very tiny. So over here I have all of my toiletry stuff. So I have a big bottle of insect spray, which it's a little bit too big. It didn't need to be this big, but I used to have a little pouch of like midge spray things. They sell them very, very tiny, but I couldn't find it, so I just brought this with me. And around it there's a little bit of duct tape for any repairs. You know, it's always handy to have duct tape. Then for toilet bits, I have a little trowel, this. And I used to have a garden trowel for when I was traveling the van, but obviously that's very, very heavy. It's like, I don't know, half a kilo. So I bought this Coglan's hiking trowel, and this is really, really super lightweight. And with that I bought also 2 packets of their lightweight toilet paper. All it is just very lightweight and very expensive toilet paper, but it is quite handy, and it does, as you can see, 2 packets don't take a lot of space. And again, those are Coglan's toilet paper, toilet roll. I have a little emergency blanket, because you never know. It's very, very lightweight. It was just £1, so it doesn't cost you much to have one of those with you, just in case. And then I have my little how do you call this, safety kit? Is it safety kit? First aid kit. And in here there's a bit of everything, really. I kind of dismantled different first aid kit I had, but I have, you know, a pair of scissors. I have a tick remover, which I've been lucky. I'm in the height of summer season and I haven't seen one tick climbing on my clothes, which is really good. And then I have different plasters and, you know, how do you call those? Those for the blisters. But they say they're waterproof, but I've put them on and they're not that waterproof. Like, if your feet are constantly all day wet and all day on the bogs, those are not really gonna last. But yeah, I have a little thermometer, like a little how is it called? It's just one of those really, really small thermometers. I've got some diarrhea remedy, just in case, you know, you always want to be prepared. And also some just paracetamol and some different plasters and band-aids, and yeah, that's pretty much it. As for toiletries, that's where I keep my toiletries. It's on a Ziploc bag, and what I have with me is just some lip balm, because under the sun your lips tend to get really, really dry, and this, you can use it for other things as well. You know, even if your forehead is getting dry, or even your hands, you can put some of this. I have a very tiny brush for my hair, which I haven't used, but it's good to have, and again, it's quite lightweight. I have some bacterial gel for your hands, to wash your hands. A little bit of soap, hard soap, toothbrush, and toothpaste. Some extra hairbands. If you have long hair like me, those will be very useful. I could have probably just took 2, but I bought those a few days ago because I finished them, so I have the whole pack. Got just my multivitamins for every day. I've got a very small mirror, which again, I don't think you need this, and in all honesty, I could have used my sunglasses mirrors for that, but I took it. So some floss. Sorry, the camera cut, but that's it for the toiletries. And then what have we got? Got a random knife just chilling around. I have 2 books. I have the Southern Upland Way guide, which has been my Bible, really. And then just another book to read in the evenings. I'm reading Ishmael by Daniel Quinn, and I'm really enjoying it. Then I have my bags of electronics, which really is not that interesting. I just have my spare batteries for the camera. I have a camera and a tripod, which I can't show you because that's what I'm filming on. I have 2 battery banks. maybe it's a little bit over the top to have two, but if there's one thing that I like to have is at least the phone with a little bit of battery to call emergencies if ever needed. And this power bank holds about 3 charges, and this again 3 charges. And I thought, if I really want to wild camp and I don't pass across you know, towns and stuff, then I would want to have a backup just in case. And I mean, it's not the lightest thing, but I'm happy to compromise on the weight. Technically, this power bank is solar charging, so I don't know if you can see, but I think it does work, but you would need a lot of sun. So in Scottish weather, I don't think it's enough to, you know, recharge this. I've put some paracord around it so that I can hang it on the rucksack. And again, it seemed like it did charge a little bit yesterday, that it was really sunny, but it doesn't charge fast enough for you to just rely on this. So that's why I also bought this other one. And then I have my charger for the batteries of that camera. Technically that camera is supposed to charge with a USB charge, but it never worked. If that was the case, that would have saved me this weight. And then I also have a little adapter for the mains for the USB cable, so if I am in places like this, I can plug in my phone and recharge everything directly through the plug. And then in this little mesh bag I have a headlamp. Very, very important to have one. I mean, now it's summer, so it doesn't get dark until like 10 o'clock at night, but still, it's nice to have one just in case. I have some extra paracord. I have my little compass, which I would definitely recommend to bring one, because sometimes you're like on bogland or marshland and you can't understand where the track is. It's so like faint. And at least with this you can have an idea of where you're going. I also have the app View Ranger on my phone, so it tells me kind of where I am and which direction I'm going, but I would have always a compass as a backup. And then I have something that's really a luxury, and I don't know, maybe next time I won't bring it. I thought that I would use it, but I haven't in 5 days, so I really don't know. But it's a little watercolor set, because I'm really trying to get into watercolor. So I have a little pad with some, you know, space, 2 water pens, and just a really small watercolor set, right, with all those pretty colors. And my idea was to obviously stop and have lunch and then like try and draw the landscape, but like at night before putting the tent up. Just the reality is, as soon as you stop, it starts raining. And if you stop and it's not raining, you're probably too exhausted to even think about like finding this on your backpack. So I found myself not having time or the willing to even fish this out of the backpack. So I don't know if next time I would bring it. I don't know if maybe on a different trail this would come useful. I think it's a great idea. A lot of people, they bring just some paper and maybe pencil to draw, but I really like the idea of watercolor. But yeah, it does take a little bit of space and a little bit of weight, so I don't know if next time I would take it with me. And then to finish, I have just my shoes, which I decided to go for boots. So I have just my, what are they called, 3-pass shoes. I've put inside some gel insoles from Boots, and those have been giving me a lot of bother. That's I have a foot that's like kaput, and I think that the boots were also the cause for that. I have used them for other hikes, but this time my foot is just like screaming for help. So I've been actually using those flip-flops a lot of the time, just to get a rest from the boots. So before starting, I was actually considering whether it was actually necessary to bring the boots, and I did some research online, and there's some people that say you could just go for trainers. Some people say it's just for boots. you should go with boots because they give you more support on the ankles, especially in uneven ground. And I decided to go for the boots mainly because of the ankle support and because I thought they would be a little bit more waterproof than my trainers. But if I was to go back, I would take my trainers absolutely 100%. I wouldn't even bother about the boots because yes, they can be waterproof, but if you're like all day in rain and all day in the bogs, then just the way your feet are gonna be kept dry. And as for the ankle, you're not really going through like mountainous, you know, trails. It's more like, yeah, if you're a little bit careful where you put your feet, I think you should be fine with trainers, but that's just my opinion. So yeah, as base camp shoes, I brought this little Tiva flip-flops and I've been loving them. And as I said, as soon as I see that there's a track that's like even ground, it's not grassy and it's just like rubble or tarmac, then I put those on and I give my feet a break, and those are super comfortable. I love Tiva sandals. I actually hiked a 6-day hike just exclusively in Tiva sandals, but it wasn't those, it was a different model. They also had a ankle strap and it wasn't a really warm climate. So I love Tiva sandals and I would happily hike a full hike with those on, but here it's not possible just because you go through so much waterlogged paths, and if you went into the bogs with one of those, you could say goodbye to your flip-flop. It's like goodbye, it was nice to see you. But yes, that's pretty much it. I hope I haven't forgotten anything. I felt like I went through it very fast, but it doesn't look like there's a lot, but there is actually a lot. So when I left and I weighed the bag, I think it was around 16 kilos, and that's without the food. So it is slightly more heavy than I would have liked. I would have liked to keep it around 13 kilos if possible. They say you should never carry more than 20% of your weight, and I'm about 65 kilos. So I'm still in the range, but still, if I could have knocked a little bit of weight there, I would have loved that. And I didn't show you, but I also had a dry bag with food inside, a lot of, you know, like noodles and cereal bars and miso soup and all of that kind of stuff. And with this and with the water, it actually added about, I think, 2.5 kilos. So yeah, it is heavy, but I didn't feel like that kind of unsurmountable heaviness. As I said, I hiked before with another backpack and it was horrible, and it wasn't even as heavy as this one, but the only thing I could think about was just how heavy it was. With this, you don't even think about it, and I don't know if I packed it well, if it's also because of the backpack, or maybe I'm stronger, I don't know, but I felt like I might have probably now 17 kilos on, or 16 kilos, I'm not sure, because I have used a little bit of stuff since I left, obviously, and it feels okay. Obviously, the less weight you have, the better, but in all honesty, if you're planning to wild camp the whole way through, then I don't know really how much less you could take, other than of course a watercolor set. But yes, I hope you found this helpful a little bit, and I will see you the next time. Goodbye.